Okay, today's lesson is on inequalities. So if you're watching this video, you need to take a moment and write down this first slide. So you're going to want to pause it, write it all down, and then you can continue on. Basically, this slide just tells you that if you have this particular sign, that it's a less than sign, and that when we go to graph, we're going to use an open dot. Same thing with the greater than sign, it's going to be an open dot. If you have the equal to bar underneath each of those, it's going to be a closed-in circle on our graph. Okay? All right.
What is the shade left?
I'm going to show you the shade left and right in just a minute. It's kind of hard to explain it, so I'm going to show you with the problems. But that's a good question. Okay, so quickly, if you're watching the video, I may go kind of fast. You can pause me if you want. Those of you in the class right now, you can't really pause me, so do the best you can. Although you might want to sometimes. Mute, Miss Wilson. All right, number one, we've got x is less than 3. So we need to graph this. So I want you to take the 3, and I want you to put this on the number line like this, okay? And then, this is just the way I like for you to show the location of a number on the number line. I want you to show me the number that comes before and the number that comes after. So before a 3 would be a 2, and after would be a 4, right? That's like a zoomed in snapshot of the number line. Now, the less than sign, that says x is less than 3. That means x can be anything less than 3. It could be 2, it could be 1, it could be 0, it could be negative numbers, but x could not be 3. It has to be less than 3. So we're going to use an open dot on the 3. Okay, and then we're going to shade in the direction where the numbers are that x could be. X could be any of those numbers less than 3, so we're going to shade like this. Does that make sense now? See the shading? You're either going to shade left or you're going to shade right. Since x can be any number that's less than 3, we're going to shade all the way to the left. Yes?
Miss Contis used to say that you can just draw like this. The sign is an arrow and it'll like point to the direction.
You can, as long as the variable's on the left. All right, let's look at number 2. Negative 7. We've got x is greater than negative 7. So we have to put the negative 7 in the middle. To the left, what comes to the left? Negative 8, and to the right is negative 6. Very good. It says x is greater than negative 7, so x cannot be negative 7, so we're going to put an open circle, and all the numbers that are greater than a negative 7 would be all the numbers that are to the right. Very good. So we shade like that. Are you guys okay in the back? Okay. All right, number 3, we're going to do the same thing.
So you just want us to do 3 variables, or not variables, but numbers on the line, and then 1.
Okay, we're just going to put the numbers, and then we're going to shade. Yes, so put the negative 2 here. To the left, we're going to put a negative 3. To the right, a negative 1. Now, this says x is less than or equal to negative 2, meaning x could be negative 2. So we're going to put a closed dot on the negative 2, and we're going to shade to the left. Good. Okay, the next one, x is greater than or equal to 1. So we're going to put a 1 in the middle. To the left, we're going to put 0. To the right, we're going to put 2. X can be any number that's greater than or equal to 1. So it could be 1. So we're going to put a closed dot. We're going to shade to the right. Okay, number 5. Graph the linear inequality. Okay, that's what we've been doing. The difference here is that x is over on the other side. My suggestion is that you would rewrite this with the x on the left and the 6 over on the right. But listen carefully. If you switch the sides or flip the sides, you have to flip the sign in order to keep the problem the same problem, or you will have made up a new problem. Here we've just rewritten it. We haven't changed it. Okay, if it's pointing to the 6, when you rewrite it, it should still be pointing to the 6. All right, so we're going to put 6 in the middle. To the left, we're going to put 5. To the right, 7. X is greater than or equal to 6, so it could be 6. So close in on 6 and shade to the right. Very good. Let's do the same thing with the next one. Let's go ahead and flip the sides and flip the sign. Put your negative 2 in the middle. To the left, put a negative 3. To the right, a negative 1. An open circle on the negative 2. And shade to the left. Less than is to the left. Okay, number 7, we're going to start solving inequalities. And the steps are very similar to what you did last night on the homework for solving equations. So quickly jot that one down, and let's get going here. We have x plus 4 is less than 10. So we want to undo the plus 4 by subtracting 4. So underneath here, we're going to put minus 4, and what you do to one side, you have to do to the other side. 4 minus 4 is 0. We don't put the 0. We just bring down the x less than, and 10 minus 4 is 6. And now we're going to graph it like we were just doing a minute ago. Put your 6 in the middle. 5 comes before 6. 7 comes after. It says x is less than 6, so if it's less than, that means it's not including, so it's an open circle, and shade to the left. Very good. Next problem. X minus 1 is less than or equal to 3. We want to get rid of the minus 1, so we are going to add 1. So x is less than or equal to 4. Put your 4 in the middle, to the left, 3, to the right, 5. Open or closed? Shade to the left. Okay, number 9. It's really important that you write down this that you see in blue. Flip sign when multiplying or dividing by a negative number. Write it down, put stars by it, box it in, something. Figure something out because it's very, very important. And then write down the problem. Anytime you are multiplying or dividing both sides by a negative number, you have to flip the sign around. So this is negative 3 times x, so we are going to get rid of the negative 3 by dividing. And we're going to divide negative 3 on both sides. When we do, negative 3 divided by negative 3 is a positive 1x, which we just write x. But because we divided both sides by a negative number, we have to flip the sign around. And 9 divided by negative 3 is a negative 3. Okay, that's the one extra little piece that's different from yesterday. Yesterday we divided by a negative number, we divided by a negative number. You can flip the equal sign around if you want all day long. It's still going to be an equal sign, right? It doesn't change how it looks. But with inequalities, you have to flip the sign. So graph that. Okay, next one. We've got to get rid of that 1/3. Yesterday when we were solving equations, we learned that we can get rid of a fraction by multiplying by the reciprocal. So we can multiply by 3 over 1. And what you do to that side, you do to this side. If you multiply straight across, you get 3 over 3, which is just 1. So it's just x. But listen very carefully here, okay? We are not going to flip this sign. The rule says that if you are multiplying or dividing both sides by a negative number, see in number 9 how we divided both sides by negative 3? We are multiplying both sides by a positive 3 here. It doesn't matter about what this number is over here, the negative 2. It's what are you multiplying or dividing by on both sides. You're multiplying each side by a positive number, so this sign is still going to stay less than. You're not going to switch it around. Put your 1 under here if you need to. That's going to be negative 6. open, shade left. Okay. I kind of feel like we need to skip through because I'm afraid we're not going to get to whatever we need to. If you want to go and do these later, obviously it'll be on the video. If you want to try them and have me check them, you're welcome to. But let's kind of skip through here. Let's go ahead and try a couple two-step equations here. Let's try number 13 here. 4x minus 8 is less than 12. So the first thing we have to do, remember, is get rid of or undo any addition or subtraction. We've got a minus 8, so we're going to undo the subtract 8 by adding 8 to both sides. So we have 4x less than 20. Then we get rid of that 4, that's 4 times x, so we undo it by division. And we get x is less than 5. X is less than 5 is going to be an open dot, and we're going to shade to the left. I know this is faster than normal, and I'm sorry, but again, if you need to go back and watch the lesson, it'll be on YouTube later today. All right, let's look at the next one. Okay, this is an issue sometimes. Kids see this right here, then they see the minus, and they want to add 3 to both sides. We do have to do addition or subtraction first, but this isn't a negative 3. This is a negative 2x. This is a positive 3. We can get rid of the positive 3 by subtracting 3. Come to the other side and do that. Bring down your negative 2x less than or equal to negative 5 minus 3 is a negative 8. We got to divide by that negative 2. Now, we're dividing both sides by a negative number, so we have to flip that sign around. And negative 8 divided by negative 2 is a positive 4. Let's put 4 in the middle. Open or closed?
Closed.
Shade to the right. All right. Truthfully, I feel like these right here, well, number 15 would kind of be a similar way. Let's look at 16 real quick. It's got variables on both sides. I think we got about 3 minutes, so let's get going here. Which 16 is the bottom one? I know that's very hard to see because the yellow is kind of difficult. Okay, we've got 5x on one side and 2x on the other. So yesterday we talked about how to get rid of them, and you can either add or subtract one of them off. I'm going to get rid of this 2x, and it's a positive 2x, so we're going to subtract 2x. So we have 3x minus 1 greater than 8. You cannot add the 5x and 2x together unless they're on the same side of the equal sign, and they're not. Okay? Now we should be comfortable here. We know to add 1 to both sides, so we get 3x is greater than 9, and divide by 3. So x is greater than 3, and then graph. The graphing really should be the only new part, and then, of course, flipping the sign when necessary. But other than that, all this solving should be basically like what you did last night. Would you agree?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
All right, I do want to do number 17 with you. And then I think that might be enough. Maybe if we get to 18, we'll see. Write down 17 real quick. Like I said, any of them that I skipped over, if you want to go and add them to your notes, they're on the video, and you can bring them to me, and I'll check them for you. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do on this one is the distributive property. So bring down the 3x plus 2 and the less than sign, and then we're going to distribute this 2. 2 times x, 2x. minus 2 times 5 is 10. You just took a test where you had to do a little bit of the distributive property on the last problem. Do you remember that? Most of you got that right, okay? All right, now, once you've done that, now we see, okay, well, we have variables on both sides. We can't combine them. We either add or subtract the 2x off or the 3x off, and it doesn't matter. Let's get rid of the 2x. Good call. Minus 2x, subtract 2x. So we have x plus 2 less than negative 10. Subtract 2. So we have x is less than negative 12. Graph. Open circle, shade, left. Maybe going over this today, maybe you realized something that you were struggling with yesterday. Maybe this kind of helped. I don't know. We'll grade both of the assignments tomorrow in class. So if you need to go back and rework anything or come in at lunch and work on anything, you're welcome to do that. If I can, let's see if we can make it. 18 would be a good one for us to look at. All right, so look here. We're going to distribute this 2/3. Put a 1 underneath here. And we're going to do 2 times 6 and 3 times 1 on the bottom. So 2 times 6 is 12. 3 times 1 is 3. So 12 divided by 3 is 4x minus. And then distribute to the 18. 2 times 18 is 36. 3 times 1 is 3. 36 divided by 3. 12. Bring down the sign, bring down this side. Okay, now variables on both sides. Let's get rid of the 3x, so subtract 3x. X minus 12 less than or equal to 1. Add the 12. X less than or equal to 13. Thank you. Very good. 13 in the middle. 12. 14 open or closed? Shade. Left, to the left. Okay, I know I went really, really fast, but if you have questions, let me know. You know what, I'm also going to switch the slides so you can see this one word problem that we're not going to get to, but in case maybe you want to try it at home, there it is, and you can always get back with me, but that way it's on the video.